Welcome everybody to the elective pitches for trimester 3. We have on offer for this trimester 13 electives, 6 in the morning, 7 in the afternoon.
The point of this course is that we introduce a whole lot of concepts and skills very quickly. We're going to have 2D and 3D design, all right? Means we're going to do mechanical drawing, we're going to be doing some stuff with the 3D printers, some stuff with the laser cutters, some electronics. We're going to really quickly, in the first couple of weeks, get you skilled up in a whole lot of different things that we do in engineering. And then we are going to run a full-scale product design event, going from concept idea all the way to fully finished actual product that you will be building, designing, and making and developing as a team, as the whole class. So the whole class is going to work together just like a real engineering team would.
There's going to be a big drawing component, which is all about animation and frames and the beginning of the loop that we're doing. So it's not, I can say that, it's animation in the sense that things will be moving. We're not telling stories, it's not a movie. You're actually making kind of like a GIF in physical form. So it's like we're animating on paper and we're playing these animations on physical devices that we'll make. It always feels really good once you see it play.
So this will be a hands-on, real-world study and impact kind of class. You know, getting out of the lab and into the amazing, real physical world. Some of it natural, some of it human engineered or constructed. Studying the atmosphere, you know, there's air quality, temperature, of course, cloud cover, things like that. The hydrosphere, water. The citizen science part means that you're going to be contributing to actual real-world scientific projects with data gathering and collection and sharing. There's a NASA program called NASA Globe that we're going to be contributing some of our data and observations to. And we're also going to be borrowing, perhaps from Mr. George or Mr. Victor, data analysis and visualization tools so that you can look at correlations. You know, how are different kinds of things in the environment related to each other?
Woodworking, exploring with depth in small projects with a lot of repetition, a lot of practice, exploring woodworking joints. You'll learn the basic woodworking joints. It's not a free build scenario. We're going to do small, well-crafted projects. If you do one rep on a joint and you don't quite get it, you do another one. In this class, you will use hand tools and you will use machine tools. So I am contemplating seriously teaching students table saw in a controlled situation.
I'm George. For trimester 3, we're doing Science Foundations. It's the next version of what we call right now the Intro to Science and Creativity. With each iteration, we're making it better, including changing the name. So we're looking at asking questions, making discoveries. We're going to play with the foundational practices that scientists use to make discoveries. And by doing that, we're also going to do our own investigations to make sense of the world around us. Sort of the structure of the course, we're going to develop science skills, we're going to look at data sets, conduct an investigation, analyze data to try to make discoveries, what's happening in that data, and then do a reflection for your portfolio.
I am pitching to you today a class on psychology and the Iliad. Please do not be surprised that it is about, hold your breath, psychology and the Iliad. Inside of this course, we're going to be considering why emotion, behavior, relationships, and the human mind and body and behavior are so important inside of this ancient Greek epic. And in fact, this happens from the very beginning. This is one of my preferred translations of the opening of the Iliad. It begins with the word rage and proceeds to tell the muse to please sing to me the song of Achilles, but precisely can tell me why the sky is so mad. We're going to be using some little excerpts from a really common AP psychology book, focusing on stuff like social psychology, what is cognition, what are some of the biological bases for our behaviors, and we'll eventually get on to talk about things like anxiety, trauma, and specifically, relevant for Achilles, PTSD. We'll be doing annotating, come to class ready to have discussions. We will have some group investigations of precise scenes where we try to apply our psychology learning, and finally, you will get to do an individual project.
It's basically the history of stock market bubbles from the 1630s to the internet, to cryptocurrency, to bubbles of today.
Along the way, we'll be looking at bits of history that are sort of important contextual information. For example, Golden Age in Holland, Industrial Era, Wall Street crash, Great Depression. We'll see what's really interesting to us and dive in as we go along.
When I first saw the periodic table of elements, I was like, this is nuts. It didn't make any sense to me. Right, but then there's magical numbers, right? You got a 2, 8, 8, 18, 18. So I got so engaged with it because I was so interested in what the mystery it was telling me. What does it mean? Why is it structured this way? Does anyone have any idea? Why is everything on the left non-reactive? Why is everything on the right ready to set itself on fire?
So this is a history course, a humanities course. Our sort of primary text is going to be the series March. There are 3 books in it. It is what is called a graphic novel. I say what is called a graphic novel because it's not a novel, it is a memoir. So it is the experience of John Lewis, who was a well-known, really amazing civil rights activist, worked in Congress until he died. There is real power in the work that was done to achieve change. And I think that there's real hope in that too, right? There's always things you look around the world and there are things that you would like to see being better. And I think that there's a lot we can learn from the methods, from the history here.
My goal for this project is to bring you into this classroom, not only to give you assignments, but to help me make, a release and to actually make an album or a visual album with me, and this is gonna be something that's actually gonna be out on all streaming platforms, something on YouTube. It's like a real thing. A lot of what we're gonna be doing is making music, making creations, making audio, and matching them up with images that are gonna drive the story of what I want my album to sound like. What I need from you is I need your musical ingenuity. I need your artistic ingenuity. I need people that can help me build a logo. I need people that can help me find some type of AI character or something. But the idea is to mold it all together and to have a release. What do you get out of this project? You get some type of published work on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, what have you. If it gets 1 million views, then I owe you a lot of money. So.
A few years ago, people did a study and they figured out that, and this was in 2018, so a few years back, in 2018, 90% of data available in the world was generated in the previous 2 years. So there's just an incredible amount of data coming out every day, and learning to deal with this data is going to be a really necessary and required skill moving forward, pretty much for all professions. So starting early and thinking like a data scientist and being able to work with and deal with data is going to be valuable. So take my class.